one, opening up. We got a pretty crazy stat on the line today. So today we're diving right in. If Mahomes wins Super Bowl 62, he will have won more Super Bowl games in AFC West opponents' new stadiums than those teams have won a playoff game in their own stadium. Been a lot of debate recently. I've been seeing here in the chitter chatter, yada yada yada, with Mahomes, this and that. He can't do it. He can't get it done. And dive right into it. Like I said again, welcome to Real Talk Saturday. We're going right in, getting right into a pretty crazy stat. This one we've been kind of posting, running the numbers, letting it do its thing. Um, but really, I think personally, if it does get achieved, it completes all unnecessary. There is no longer an argument as of right now. There is no argument. That's the thing. That's the crazy part about it. But regardless, since he now has this crazy stat that can be chased, where if he wins Super Bowl 62 in SoFi Stadium, that's where it's going to be played. We played in SoFi Stadium. So if they win in the Chargers Stadium, because again, they've already won inside of the Raiders Stadium. That was Super Bowl, what was it, 58, whenever they went back to back. Now, the one that they went and won was in Arizona, so the Cardinals one doesn't really matter all that much in this scenario. But again, the big important factor with this one is if he does end up going, if they do end up making it to SoFi, they can get that stat on the line, and that'll mean that he's got two Super Bowl wins in two out of the. That means he only got one more team he's got to win. And Denver's building a stadium too. It's gonna have a dome. So Denver isn't always gonna be outdoors and cold and snowy. So eventually, if Denver is gonna want to, have, host championships or whatever they plan on doing there, Denver's going to build a dome. And obviously that means that Kansas City can play a Super Bowl in a dome stadium as well. But again, if Mahomes does end up winning Super Bowl 62, he will have won more Super Bowl games in AFC West opponents' new stadiums than they have won playoff games in their own stadiums. Again, the Raiders Stadium, the brand new one there in Vegas, they got that thing built pretty quickly, actually. And it was actually way smaller than a lot of people thought it would be. But the even crazier part about this is if Mahomes does indeed do 62, and again, this is all based off of what ifs, obviously we know this, but he's already won the one in Vegas. If this one gets won at Super Bowl 62, there's only one other stadium that would have to be an away stadium, because there is a chance that they can play a home Super Bowl in Arrowhead. Definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. If Arrowhead does indeed go through with the buildings of the new Arrowhead design with the roof, the retractable, yada yada yada, if they get that done, that definitely opens up possibilities to play a Super Bowl at Arrowhead. Obviously, that's a long time from now. We're looking at over half of a decade. Mahomes will be at least, 35, 36 years old by then. So you got a lot of wear and tear to build on that. But regardless, having that stat right now and having it possibly be achievable is pretty insane. And it just goes to show that the AFC West dominance has been there for ever since he took over. And yes, the Broncos and the Raiders obviously went through tremendous drawback of quarterback play. I mean, it was hellacious. It was terrible. But even with the Sean Payton and the whole, Russell Wilson phase, it just, they never really could get it figured out. And then with the Raiders now, I think the Raiders now actually look better than the Broncos themselves. Everyone keeps asking, is Fernando Mendoza going to start? Is Kirk Cousins going to start? I think they should do what they do with Mahomes. Let Mendoza sit behind a vet for a full season. Nothing wrong with that. They're rushing all these quarterbacks into this, so they got to make a decision right there, and it just messes them all up. So with Mendoza, let him sit, let them develop the run. They got a lot of young guys. That's good. That's fine. But still, they've got to let Mendoza get used to the whole operating procedures of the NFL before he just gets thrown into the slammer jammer. They got Brady in that building to help them out. They have people that can help guide them and do things they need to do. Chargers, on the other hand, Chargers, time's kind of up for Herbert. It's kind of like a Joe Burrow situation. With Joe Burrow, he made it. He was able to get there. He was able to actually complete the get to the Super Bowl, but he wasn't actually able to grab the Super Bowl. But with Justin Herbert, it's going to be this thing where guys got to get to an AFC championship. Guys got to win a couple divisional games here. And obviously, it's hard to just go say, oh, just win a divisional game, or some wild card games, because he's been in those situations too. We've already seen the 30-point comeback or 35-19, whatever the comeback was. But regardless, right now, if we're talking in terms of Mahomes' crazy stats, because we've already known he's broke so many, and we're gonna go in every weekend. Like I said, we're gonna start doing a little real talk on the Chiefs, because it just seems like there's this abundant amount of, and it is online mostly. Obviously, that's the thing that just, it's like it doesn't even really matter because it's all online. But and I always say time will tell, time will tell. But you cannot discount from what he's already done. But the biggest thing right here, the fact that if he wins Super Bowl 62, he'll have won more Super Bowls in the AFC West opponents' own home new stadiums than they've won playoff games. It's an absurd stat. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy. Mahomes is 17-4 in the playoffs. He's second to Brady. Brady, I believe, is 28 and something, or whatever it is, 30 even maybe. Mahomes is the only person second to him. Right now, it's a battle between who's. It goes Brady, because obviously Montana's record's Montana has the 4, but because Mahomes did his so quick, because remember Brady went 10. Remember, people forget that Brady and Belichick and that whole squadron, they went 10 years without winning. They went They won some AFC championships, but they didn't win for 10 years. Will Mahomes go 10 years without winning a Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, the AFC is hot. It's been hot. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. You got this new Bo Nix guy that everybody is ranting and raving about. When you give all these names out, okay, that we've discussed, Joe Burrow, all these guys, Josh Allen, Lamar, all these guys, none of them have won the Super Bowl. Okay, if anything, Jalen Hurts can get some more credit over a lot of these guys because he's actually been there. Because what's the point of the Super Bowl, or what's the point of the NFL? Win a Super Bowl. Okay, so Lamar is just good in terms of physical capabilities. Okay, that's really about it. Can he break down and read defenses and slot guys out and move guys and call things? Probably not. Well, he obviously can, but can he do it as good as Mahomes could? Probably not. Can he do it as good as Joe Burrow could? Probably not. These are just things you got to bring up, with these other guys, because Jalen Hurts actually was able to win it. He went twice and won one. That was the thing. He went twice. Twice. Joe Burrow only went once. Lamar has been none. Josh has been none. So regardless of who goes this year, if Mahomes wins this championship in SoFi and this stat line becomes real, we're looking at, there's nothing comparable to an AFC West stat line like that. You can't give a stat from Bo Nix. You can't give a stat from Justin Herbert. and nothing that Fernando Mendoza, unless he goes and just wins it his rookie season, the whole thing, that's the only way. But other than that, that's it. He's already solidified himself as the best active quarterback in terms of legacy. He's already successfully established that the AFC West belongs to him. And with this stat line coming out, if all the proof that we've already proved in the pudding beforehand, if that doesn't show you, then this will. 2 Super Bowl wins in 2 opponents' stadiums before they even got playoff win. That's something to seriously consider, because the Chargers were there. Okay? The Raiders haven't been there in forever. The only reason that the Broncos weren't able to do it was because of that injury. So you got to give that to them. But like I was saying, anyway, real talk Saturday, note of the day, quote of the day: Mahomes is the AFC West king, and has been, and is until further notice. Quite simple. There's no one else right now in the AFC West. Yes, the Broncos finally look to have a relevant chance of holding competition during the season. That's what they get to be proud of. The Raiders get to be proud of the thought of a rookie, national champion with good promise, who technically really hasn't had all that good of a, what do you call it? A preseason. His first the first game, but then all of a sudden we start getting into this thing where, okay, we're throwing picks, and it's the preseason. We get that. Things will happen like that. But comes a point where it's like, okay, so, but we got some. What do we got today? We got some trivia or something they got going on in the preseason game. Which Pro Football Hall of Famer played for both the Browns and the Bills? I don't personally know. They took it away before I could read it. But no, so it looks like they got. I think they got that delay taken care of. That was in Buffalo. Buffalo's playing Cleveland right now. Tonight, Kansas City's playing Tampa Bay. We'll kind of get a good little look and see what Garrett Nussmeier is looking like. I think Mansoon Delane, Mr. Delane, is playing tonight. They were saying, so that's good. But other than that, I think they got. Looks like Buffalo has. Buffalo game has been playing for quite a while. Looks like, actually. So. Well, what we got here? Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, no. Other than that, that's your stat line. If you win Super Bowl 62 in SoFi, the debate, as if there was even a debate to begin with. That's the problem. There was never a debate. The debate was always who's going to beat Mahomes. That was always the debate. The debate was never, the success. It was just who's going to be able to actually stop the whatever. And honestly, yes, after last season, yeah, it was not good. They had a lot of injuries. They had a lot of off-field type stuff happening. Guys getting older, moving on. That's football. That happens. That's all part of the game. But Mahomes has already proven that he can elevate, lesser people on the team around him. He showed that whenever Tyreek Hill left. We saw that when Tyreek Hill dipped out. It's when Tyreek Hill left, they won a Super Bowl the next season. So, but no, it ain't nothing but a thing. But no, they got a real good shot at it this year for sure because of the healthiness and the new look to the offense. It's going to be completely different than I think we've ever seen. I think it's going to be heavy run. I think they're going to pass where they need to pass, and they're going to run where they really need to run. I think it's going to be more runs than anything, actually. But no, got some preseason games today. Really not much else to talk about other than, yeah, we're just going right into this Mahomes stat. Crazy stat line. If Mahomes wins Super Bowl 62 at SoFi Stadium, he will have won more Super Bowl games in AFC West opponents' new stadiums than those teams have won playoff games in their own home brand new stadium. Pretty crazy stat line, but again, like I was saying, got to do it first. If you can't do it, then oh well. But it's not like we're never going to get back to SoFi. I'm sure SoFi will eventually hold another Super Bowl their way. I'm sure they will. But if he goes on to host and play a Super Bowl in Kansas City and win there, that would be crazy. Tampa Bay did that. And then if he goes on to win one in the Broncos new stadium, that's the one. That would be a crazy one there because they're going to build a new stadium too with a roof apparently. So, all right, y'all, we're going to cash out on that one. That was our little Real Talk Saturday note of the day. Again, watch the preseason tonight, see what Delane looks like, and see if the defense can get some more work in and see what they look like. But yeah, we'll check y'all out next week again. How you in this motherfucker?